Hey everyone, it's Sophie from Sophisticated Motherhood. It is 7:30 at night. We just got Owen to bed and I'm going to show you 3 different things that I'm going to meal prep for Owen. I'm going to do 1 breakfast, 1 snack, and 1 dinner option and get this all done at night in just a little bit of time and make some to keep in the refrigerator and some to keep in the freezer. So we're going to get started by making some pumpkin pancakes. I'll start off by saying I'm going to leave the recipes that I used for all of these in the description box below if there is a recipe link, but I will also include the ingredients on the screen here. These pancakes were so simple. I do wish I would have more than doubled the batch because it didn't make as many as I thought it was going to because I wanted to freeze even more of them. But since this recipe is so simple, I could easily whip these up again. You'll see I'm just adding all of the ingredients into my mixing bowl and mixing it up, and that's it. I also wanted to share with you what time I started doing this and the fact that I was already in my pajamas because this is real life. I can't always meal prep and cook when our toddler is awake because usually he wants my attention and I want to give him my attention. He's not quite old enough to get him involved in the cooking process. I do have a cooking tower where he can stand up and watch what I'm doing, but that only lasts for so long. So a lot of times I will pop up my favorite show on my iPad and cook while I watch, and I will show you what time I finish, and it really does not take that long. I'm multitasking here. I have the pancakes still cooking and I am going to get the snack going, and I'm making, it's just a 3 ingredient yogurt melt. So I am starting by putting some of my ingredients in the blender here. It's banana and spinach, perfect for babies or for toddlers. And I am gonna do that while I have the pancakes cooking, and I actually already preheated the oven for the dinner. So I have all 3 going at once right now. This recipe and concept was new to me, and after doing this, I am going to make this in every flavor and do it all the time because Owen loved it and it is so simple. So I was just getting that blended while I got another batch of pancakes going. And like I said, I am doing all of these at the same time and just multitasking as much as possible. So while the pancakes cook, I'm blending and making those yogurt bites. So after I got the initial ingredients blended, then you're going to add in the remainder of the yogurt there and mix it all together. And I think that's just because you want to make sure it is nice and thick. It can get really runny if you blend it all together there. I'm doing a little trick with a piping bag over an open glass, which makes it very simple to get all of your ingredients in there without making a mess. If you don't have a piping bag, you could easily use just a regular Ziploc bag and cut a small slit at the edge of it. You don't want it to be too large because this mixture is very runny. So work quickly, don't cut too large of a hole, and then you can transfer it into your freezer and let it freeze. And I will say I had a ton left over, so I did end up doing a second batch on a larger parchment lined sheet. Pancakes are done. I just put the yogurt melts into the freezer. So I'm gonna get started on the dinner that I'm prepping that I'll actually probably use for lunches as well. And I'm making turkey meatballs with sweet potato. So I'm going to double this recipe, and then while it cooks, I can clean up all of these dirty dishes and get myself to bed and enjoy the rest of the night. Meatballs are one of my favorite things to prep in advance and have on hand for Owen, and I always try and find different recipes that sneak in a vegetable if possible. Oftentimes, if I don't prep a meat like this, he does end up eating a lot of foods that don't include meat, and I want to make sure I'm still introducing him to things like chicken and turkey and beef. And if you have a younger baby, a ground meat is a really great way to introduce them to meat without having large chunks of meat that they have to chew. So especially when Owen was younger, it was a way that I felt more comfortable introducing him to meat. I grated my sweet potatoes in the food processor, but you could also easily do that by hand. I just wanted to do as little work as possible, even though the food processor always creates more dishes. And then once you get all of your ingredients mixed together, I used my hands to roll them into balls, and then while they cook, like I said, I am going to clean up the kitchen. Meatballs also store really well in the freezer. I would recommend that you freeze them first on a parchment lined baking sheet, let them cool completely before you put them into the freezer, and then you can put them into some sort of Ziploc storage bag. If you have a vacuum sealer, you could use that as well. But if you freeze them on the parchment lined sheet first, then they won't stick together. Once the yogurt melts are done, you'll see how easy it is to take them off of the parchment. So I am just pulling them off there and going to put them into a little container and continue to store them into the freezer until we're ready to have them. They're great for a snack, but could also be served as part of your breakfast. Again, I'm gonna play around with this and try different flavors, maybe with some berries or something. But if you haven't done this before, this one is a hit. It's 9:05. I have the meatballs all cooled. They're done cooking. I know it's deceiving that it's 9:05, but I actually also cooked us dinner for tomorrow as well. So I did all of that. I cleaned the kitchen, and now it's time for me to relax and head to bed. Thanks so much for joining me for today's video. I'm really grateful to have you here on this motherhood journey as together we make it sophisticated.